Hello, you guys. So before I get started with the important thing of this video, I just want to say a few things that the reason why I did not film yesterday instead of today, it's because uh, my friend No Stress Nostalgia had uploaded a new Backyardigans video, and I was waiting for him to respond back or hard comment like that's yeah, that's what that was. That's one of the reasons why, and also that I am filming later today because I needed to have time to show my mother the new episode of the Serpent Queen. The new episode was season 2, episode 4, and yes, every Saturday, every 9 in the morning on Saturday, I show my mother the new episode of The Serpent Queen, and I will show her 4 more episodes because there's going to be 4 more episodes of season 2 left, and uh, and every Sunday when we watch season 1, yeah, we watch every morning on Sunday because it would come out on a Sunday. We would watch season 1. The reason why not the reason why it's every Saturday instead of every Friday because season 2 comes out every Friday because my mother wants to be more comfortable because she thinks it's more comfortable and more cozy to those episodes on to watch the season 2 episodes on a Saturday. So, oh yeah, and after we finished watching season 1 back in 2022, we kept watching season 1 a few times, in last year and this year. So, and we watched episode 2 again. We watched season 2, episode 2 again because she wanted to remember. She wanted to pick up what's going on. She wanted to remember what's going to happen. So, anyways, now we got all that out of the way. Now let's talk about the Serpent Queen, the criticism video. So, so this criticism is about Hercule, and nothing wrong about Hercule, but it's just a waste of a character. They literally wasted this character. And the reason why I wanted to wait until now because the last episode we watched was when Hercule died, and I wanted to wait until Hercule died. So yeah, Hercule, they did understood, they did, the creators, but why? Why kill him off this soon? Okay, yes, he did die while his mother was still alive, but not soon. This is a 1572, 73. I don't know if they're moving up years. I think they're still I think they're still in 1572 in season 2, and he didn't die until June 10th, 1584. Seriously, wow. And I understand that he was never going to be king. He never became king of France. I understand that. But he still played important roles in his life. He was a general of the Netherlands. He helped his sister Margaret. Like he was the only sibling of Margaret who Margaret trusted. He would when they were locked up in when he was when Hercule was locked up in Margaret's bedroom in house arrest during house arrest for whatever reason. I forgot what reason. I think because he wanted to go to the Netherlands. I think he went to the Netherlands and he was siding with Margaret and with the Huguenots. She was siding with the Huguenots. Her and Hercule were siding with the Huguenots, and that's why they were locked up in that room. And he tried to escape just so he could go to the Huguenots again. And Margot helped him release by there was a rope or something. I think she had tied up with I think she tied up her gowns just to make a rope, and she would help him go out of the well, not this window. I'm trying to give you guys an example. Try to go out the window. She would help him go out the window with those clothes or a rope to go out and escape. And yeah, Margaret got in trouble for. She of course got in trouble for helping him, helping him escape. And I forgot what happened to her after that. I think she got. I think she got away with it, and she went back to her husband Henry of Navarre. But of course, you guys know she'd been doing a lot of other trouble things later in her life. But another important thing, which is the most important thing, is that um, you remember the Elizabeth had those animals on her, whatever that the part of the dress it was called on her torso. There's not only all these animals and all these things, objects, but a frog in the middle. And well, obviously it's going to be the Duke of Anjou, Henry, the Duke of Anjou, Catherine's other son. But the thing is, Hercule was Elizabeth's frog, not Henry. And they have I understand they betray Henry because of the I mean they have Henry going to marry Elizabeth in every betrayal, like Elizabeth the First, that 1998 movie Kate Blanchett was in, and and that was when she was going to marry Henry Duke of Anjou. No, I think she was I think she was visiting him. He dressed up as a woman, which that's what happened in real life. I don't know if that was true. No, I don't think that was true because they say he was no, he did wear dresses, but that doesn't mean that he was probably gay because no one ever knew. There was no exact proof that Henry was gay or not. But it's obvious that obviously he was gay. But anyways, getting back to what I was talking about, the Elizabeth I Kate Blanchett movie and this series that we're going to see, I understand that Elizabeth is going to be betrothed to him and going to marry him because she was going to marry because she was also going to marry Henry, not just Hercule. And oh yeah, and also going to marry Charles IX. I understand that. But it was Hercule who was her frog. And he was going to really marry her. He was the son of Catherine who was going to really marry her. And there was a story. This you guys know the story. They literally wasted this character, even though there was an actual story of them actually meeting each other. And Elizabeth first met him. They ate together. They drank wine. She would call him her frog. He wrote her letters, wrote her poems. She tried to she had a few chances to marry him, but while he had to go to because his friend was killed in a duel, he would send her 3 letters with a pink bow, and Elizabeth was really devastated when she was hearing the council that she cannot marry the Hercule, the Duke of Anjou, and there's 2 Duke of Anjous, Henry Duke of Anjou, and Hercule Duke of Anjou. Well, Hercule is also known as Francis Duke of Anjou because he took the name of his older brother Francis when he was old enough to learn about Francis II's death. But Hercule was also known as the Duke of Alençon. Alençon, I don't know how you pronounce it, but Alençon, something like that, Alençon. But anyway. But when he came back after he had to be absent because his friend was killed in a duel, Elizabeth had a little while later. Elizabeth told him that she could not marry him, and he just lashed out and he told her that he was going to do something to Elizabeth, threatening that he didn't mean to. But and then he stayed for a little bit longer because Elizabeth still had to pay him, had to give him money to leave. To give him money to for the ships to go to the Netherlands, and she did. And on February 10th, 1582, he left England to go to the Netherlands, and that's where he met. Well, I don't know. This is when he first time. No, of course not. He had met again. The Duke of Orange, William Orange. What am I saying? William the Duke of Orange. I think that's how you say it. He met him again, and he was crowned the general of the Netherlands, and he went out for a war, and he barely escaped over the war of the Netherlands, and then he got bitten by a mosquito, and which caused malaria, and then he had goat, and then it was it was February something, not around February, it was on February something, 1584. I'm saying February something because it was not the exact date, but we don't know the exact date, but he got bitten by a mosquito at that time, and then that's when he had to go back to France, and he was in bed falling ill. His mother and his brother Henry, the Duke of Anjou, who was then king at that time, they were I mean Henry the Third. He was now Henry the Third of France. And all these people watched him dying in bed, and then he died. And Elizabeth, of course, Elizabeth was sad, and she wrote him. And Elizabeth actually wrote a letter to her mother saying, "If you could see a picture of my heart, you would know." Like something like I forgot the exact letter. I mean, I forgot what she had exactly said to her mother. And of course, his mother, his mother, I did not mean to say her mother. Hercule's mother, of course, she was devastated. Of course, his brother, Henry III, was devastated. And and he died during when Margot was in prison and was house arrest for for cheating on her husband once again. And oh yeah, and she also stayed there because they thought that she was pregnant, but turns out she was ill. And then when she recovered from her illness, what a coincidence that this happened the same time, or only in the aftermath of her brother Hercule's death, that Henry of Navarre had told Margot, or someone else in Navarre had told her that her brother was dead, and she cried. And in the Serpent Queen, this was correct that she was crying, devastated. She did the praying. She bent down on her knees, and she got off the bench and bent down. She got off. Sorry, I'm trying to say. She got off the bench or seat and went down on her knees and did this while crying because her brother Hercule died. And but in real life, this was almost the same thing. She was devastated, and the reason why she was devastated overhearing her brother's death was because this was her favorite brother. This was her. Not only her favorite brother, but her favorite sibling. Because this is the sibling who she had trusted in her life, and then she had to do all these things on her own for the rest of her life, Margot, and she still constantly had to cheat on her husband. And yes, which you guys already know, that some of her lovers were executed, mostly beheaded. I don't know about all of them, mostly beheaded, but this one guy, the this lover who got herself house arrested when right before, like while her husband Henry of Navarre escaped. Was away. That was when her mother had yelled at her, and that lover, and that was because of this lover who got away with it. I forgot his name, but and also there's this lover we don't know if he was beheaded or not. He obviously was beheaded. He was I forgot his name, but he had led the Huguenots with Margot. Well, after she led the Huguenots and raided the city, she had refused to be with her mother and brother Henry III for a year, until they found out that she had cheated on Henry again and had committed adultery. And the reason why they had arrested her then, right at that point, was because they gave her many chances. But no, she had lost that chance, and then she got arrested, and she didn't get executed because she was a royal, but her lover was executed, and we don't know if that lover was beheaded or not. But I just want to go through all that. But now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about this Serpent Queen, that what they did was so wrong. Okay, so I knew about this because I watched the trailer. Well, I've seen him get attacked by a rock, but I didn't think that he was gonna die. But then that's when I found out that the death of a prince. That's it. The episode is called "The Death of the Prince." The death of a prince. It's called "Death of a Prince." It was It was after I watched. It was after I past 1 in the morning or almost 1 in the morning when I finished watching Serpent Queen season 2 episode 2. It was when I had read saying "Death of a Prince," and that was and that's when I realized, oh no, it's not Hercule, is it? It has to be. It has to be one of the princes of Navarre. It has to no. It's definitely no. I thought it was going to be Louis of Navarre. Well, no, Antoine was still a prince of Navarre because he wasn't really king. He was king of Navarre, not king of France. So I thought it was going to be one of those princes, but no. Instead, it was going to be Hercule. I knew it was. Of course, I knew it was going to be Hercule, but not entirely. Because he was not supposed to die at this point. He wasn't. And then that's when when I think of it, is he gonna die? Hercule's gonna die? That's when I realized that, oh no, don't tell me that rock is gonna kill him. Because I've seen it in a trailer. And, yeah, I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen a rock hit him in the head. Well, I think I've seen it before I had Instagram. But, he really? This was stupid, okay? This is one of the silliest deaths of stars, or in the Royalty of Star series. First, in season 1, episode 5 of The White Princess, Jasper Tudor, Henry VII's uncle, he was smothered by his sister, or sister-in-law, Margaret Beaufort, and all because he was ill. I mean, no. All because he was going to tell them the truth of what she really did to those York brothers, the princes of the Tower. Even though that's probably not exactly what Margaret Beaufort did. We don't know exactly what happened to the princess of the Tower, but she smothered him to death, and even though in real life he died from an illness, and that's silly. And then another thing in season 1, episode 5 of The Spanish Princess, Margaret Pole's husband, which I forgot her husband's name, her son, Reginald Pole, literally accidentally killed his own father by running him over with that wagon or whatever it was, a cart. He died from getting run over, really? He died from getting run over by a wheel, and which crushed his chest, like. And now the third silly thing is that Hercule died from getting a rock thrown at him. Really? He died from getting a rock thrown at him. You do realize it is actually hard to kill somebody by crushing someone in the skull, because it takes a lot more damage to kill somebody. I understand it's just a show, but still, in real life, it is hard to kill somebody in the skull. You would just be knocked out unconscious, and then you would recover, but with a damaged skull for the rest of your life. And then after that the end of that episode of Death of a Prince, I didn't show my mother the next day, and I was telling her that I didn't say to her that it was just a waste of a character because he died there. He did not die there. It's not because I thought he died there. I knew he didn't die there. But I'll get to no. I think it's important to say, but I'll get to all that in other videos, forever in other videos anyway, because I will, and even forever in heaven anyway, because I will. So my mother was saying, "Are you sure he died? Because he just got hit by a rock," and I knew he didn't die, but I told my mother that, oh, I know he didn't die. It's just because in the end of that episode he was because you can't just kill him off right there. And then my mother was like, oh, okay. I wasn't trying to prove her point. I wasn't telling her it was obvious. I was just telling her normally. Anyway, I was just telling her normally. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, that's what I was saying. That's why I'm saying without slurring, So, anyways, I tried to think. So then, I then waited a week I then waited a week after episode 3, and then I watched episode 4, and so he was still alive. Yes, he was obviously still alive because he would not be dead at the end of that episode. At the end of episode 3, but then he dies within a few minutes of that episode. So we get to see him in the beginning of episode 4, and then he's already dead. Really? You're just gonna kill him off like that? Okay, I understand that because we all knew he was gonna die, but I didn't think this soon in this episode. All right, y'all, what a waste of a character. Okay, what a waste of a character. This character, this character was who I thought was how they're going to end the Serpent Queen. All right, and I thought they were going to end the series with the Duke of Anjou's death. I mean, Hercule, the Duke of Anjou's death, because this I thought, because usually when you have a main character, the star of their own series, the royalty, the White Queen, who was Elizabeth of York, the White Princess, Elizabeth of York, well, I mean, the White Queen, Elizabeth Woodville. I don't know if I said that the first time. The White Princess, Elizabeth of York, the Spanish Princess, Catherine of Aragon. Well, except for Elizabeth, because Elizabeth I of becoming Elizabeth series, which I'll explain why, and then you have Catherine de Medici from the Serpent, who's the star of the Serpent Queen. So what I'm trying to say is that the White Princess, White Queen, and the Spanish Princess, all those shows ended years, either less than a decade or over a decade before their death. I mean, they ended less than a decade or over a decade before. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that I'll say this one more time because I know it takes too long, but trust me, it'll make sense. So, Elizabeth Woodville, the star of the White Queen, Elizabeth of York, the star of the White Princess, and Catherine of Aragon, the star of the Spanish Princess. They all all their shows ended less than a decade or over a decade before their deaths. And I was thinking the same thing with Catherine de Medici. I was thinking that they're going to end it with Hercule's death. Because it was 5 years before Catherine de Medici's death. I'm saying 5 years instead of 6. Well, no, yeah, 5 years. I'm saying 5 years because it's 5 separate years, even though it was 4 years until Catherine's death, because he died on June 10th, 1584, and Catherine de Medici died on January 5th, 1589. So I was thinking that they were going to end it like that, but no, I think they're going to do this until the end of Catherine's life, or at least whenever they're going to stop. But I don't think they're going to ever show Mary Queen of Scots' execution because, well, even though Catherine was still alive, it's just that she was executed way late in her life, and usually they would end. Usually the star who has her own show, usually a lady, royalty lady, who has her own show, the show usually ends like less than a decade or over a decade until their deaths, and you get what I'm saying. Usually that's why they're not going to show. That's why they're might not going to show the Mary Queen of Scots execution. So but I was just thinking that's a perfect way to end the Serpent Queen, with Hercule's death because now that Catherine doesn't have any more Valois heirs, and this shows that we can just end it up with Hercule's death, and it's also a good ending because it also would have been a good ending for the Serpent Queen because now that it will sorry, let me start all again. It's also a good ending. Another reason why it's a good ending. Another reason why it also would have been a good ending with Hercule, the Duke of Anjou's death, is because this is when we can end the series with with Henry III making Henry of Navarre heir to the French throne. Now you guys get what I'm saying? Those were my expectations. So now you guys see why I made a criticism video about this. So anyways, that is it for this video, and stay tuned for more videos, but remember, you guys, this is going to be a while. This is going to be still, again, a while, like weeks, until I make another video. Or at least 1 week. I have no idea. But anyways, that is it for this video, and bye!